Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bodhi and Tristan. Both of them, they are from England in the UK. So let's see what they have to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Tristan, how are you?
Hello, yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
And who is your guest of the day today? I can see we have a guest today.
The guest is my son Bodhi. You say hello?
Hi, hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for joining your dad today for the interview. Thank you.
Hey.
What's your name again?
Bodhi.
Bodhi. So tell me, Bodhi, how was your day today?
It was good. I've just got back from my holiday in Spain.
Wow, amazing. Where were you in Spain?
I was in Fuengirola in a hotel there.
Wow, I was in Spain as well, actually, but I was 2 weeks ago. I was in Gran Canaria.
I can't remember.
You've been to Gran Canaria before?
Oh, no.
No? I see. It was really hot. It was really warm over there.
Yeah.
How about you? Yeah?
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was your first time there or not? You've been there before?
been there a few times before.
Amazing. How about you, Tristan? How was your day today?
Yeah, it was a good day. I went to the gym,
Uh-huh.
trained, went for a nice walk. So, yeah,
Wow.
nice.
So tell me, where are you guys from?
I'm from Leeds. And where are you from again?
We're both in Leeds. Yeah, we both live in Leeds.
I see. Born and raised, both of you?
No, I grew up in a place called Malton,
Okay.
in the countryside in Yorkshire.
I see. Actually, I've been to Leeds before a long time ago. There was a little town called Scunthorpe. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Yeah, I've got a friend from there actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a friend of mine. He lives in London, but his parent was there, so I went to visit one day. And I also went to see Hull as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good trip.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
So tell me, what do you do for work, for a living, Tristan?
So I work with young offenders,
Okay.
under 18. So yeah, it's kind of like a prison for young people. So it's a little bit, I suppose, a little bit nicer than an adult's prison, but they're still there. They still can't leave, so they need a lot of support.
I see. How about you? What are you studying? Are you studying right now?
Yeah, I'm at school right now.
So tell me, what do you like the most about your school?
I like our playground because ours is one of the biggest in Leeds primary school.
I see. Who's your favorite teacher?
My current teacher, Miss Bateman, she's really nice. She also taught me in year 2 as well. So
Amazing. And do you like school?
yeah.
You're not very convincing. Yes. Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and about your point of views, okay?
Yeah.
Are you both ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
You ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. I have here my best friend. Random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax a little bit before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Amazing. Let's do it. Right. So before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, don't want to answer, always can change. Okay?
Yeah.
Who'd you like to go first?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first.
Right, let's go start with Tristan. Tristan, what are you most passionate about?
I'm most passionate about, I suppose, gym and training and how physical exercise benefits mental health.
I see. And fitness always been part of your life?
Yeah, massively. I played a lot of sport when I was young, mostly rugby. Then I got into the gym, didn't I? And
Wow.
never stopped, and I've progressed a lot of my ideologies around that, and how it's benefited my life and how I've been able to help other people as well. And
I
you
see.
training as well, haven't you?
Oh, you start going to the gym as well? Wow, I see. And how often do you go to the gym?
I usually go about 5 times a week, and then I go to help some people as well.
I see.
That's quite rewarding. And you've been to my gym with me as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
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 And do you have brothers and sisters as well? Yeah. Do you have brother and sister or not?
No, I'm an only sibling. I'm in child. Sorry.
Only child. Wow. What's the good part of being the only child and the most challenging part, in your opinion?
I get lots of attention and it's fun, and the only bad thing is like it's hard to play with some people sometimes.
Right. I see. Okay, let's go with you now. Next question is, what's your favorite weekend activity?
Weekend.
No, for him.
Okay, for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
my favorite weekend activity, probably to go out and play some rugby with you and
Wow.
the ball about you.
I see. And do you play rugby very often?
Yeah, I'm in a team. So
Good team.
yeah, this is my team.
What's the name of your team?
West Park.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been part of the team for?
A couple of years now.
I see. You know what? I'm originally from Brazil and I never played rugby in my life. Just football. Do you like football as well?
Yeah, football was more. Well, I liked football when I was younger, and it's got a bit less likely, but I still play at school and stuff.
I see. How about you, Tristan? Tell me who your supports on football. Which
I'm
club?
Liverpool fan.
Wow.
Always have been. So we just won the Premier League, so I'm very happy this year.
I know. I saw on the news the sad story as well that happened there.
Yeah. I thought that was. I mean, it was very sad, but it was sad that in the media that's all people talked about.
Yeah.
Because it was such a great achievement, such a great thing for the city, and I think for the attention to all be on that takes a bit away from the positive.
I see. Who's your favorite player on the team right now?
I wouldn't say I have a particular favourite, to be honest. Probably Van Dijk if I had to pick one.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. You can dance with me. You can always dance. Let's go with you now. You first. Okay. Next question for you is, what's your favorite place in the entire world and why?
It's hard. I'd say a bike park, because I play it with my friends a lot on my bikes and stuff.
Oh. And who is your best friend?
My best friend is probably a boy called in my class. So.
And why do you consider him as your best friend?
Because we're just really good friends. I think me now and another boy in my class are all really, really good friends.
Wow, amazing. Okay, Teresa, let's go with you now. What's the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Biggest risk?
Yeah, have you ever taken?
Well, when I was 18, I decided to go and work in South Africa.
Wow.
So I actually initially was going to go to Zambia to work, which really would have been dangerous.
Right.
But they wouldn't, because of political issues and war. I couldn't get a visa. So with an organization called GAP. So they said, well, there's another placement in South Africa.
Okay.
So, I just accepted that. And I went to a place I had no idea about really when I was 18 and spent 6 months.
Yeah. That's amazing. And when you look back, what was the highlight of your trip at the time when you look back?
I think just experiencing a different place and culture, because I'm a big believer that holidays are nice, but you don't really immerse yourself into that culture and society. So actually living with people, spending that much time with like the students and the teachers and the community, you know, some of which was a bit scary. You'd hear gunshots at night and things like that.
Wow.
Which, you know, well, you might hear in some places in England, but not where I so yeah, it was a different experience and massively out of my comfort zone, but I do believe that that's beneficial to do.
And where were you based over there in South Africa?
There's a place called Mafeking.
Right.
So basically north of Johannesburg on the Botswana border. And the school's called the International School of South Africa.
I see. Okay.
Boarding school, yeah.
Amazing. Next question, ready? Let's do it. Next one. Okay, let's start with Tristan now. Tristan, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, right this moment, where would you go and why?
I've actually traveled a lot in my life and worked in some different countries. I think somewhere I haven't been that I'd like to go is Tokyo. Again, that would be very, very different for me, a different experience. That'll probably happen at some point, but not just yet.
You know what? I always been very fascinated about the Japanese culture. I think I used to work in a hotel a few years ago, and we had some clients, some guests from Japan. My God, when they're arriving, if you could tell like their manners, the way they look at you, the way they approach you, it's something like, you know, their heads compared with our culture, you know.
Yeah.
I think, yes, in Japan, I've always been fascinated by their culture for sure. And I think that's one of my bucket lists. I'd like to go to Japan as well to, you know, to see. I think I'll come back a different person for sure. Yeah. But let's go with you now. Tell me something funny that happened to you that made you laugh last time.
Well, yesterday I was go-karting and I did get in a crash, but that made me laugh because I was trying. There was a bird on the track, and I turned, but the bird went the way I turned, so I turned the other way and I smashed into the barricades. So, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, you got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was wow. Are you recovering well?
Yeah, he didn't cry. You're brave.
Amazing. You know what? I have here on the show over 1,000 people around the world, and you are both at the same time that I have a dad and a son for the first time. Amazing. You're making history in the magic box. You leave your signature here right now. Next question. Let's do it. Right. So before the next question, Tristan, tell me what you like the most about your job, and also what do you find most challenging about it?
I think the sense of humor, because I do believe that, you know, sense of humor really helps in not just the happy things, but sometimes in the darkest situations.
Yeah.
And that can be with the staff, but also the young people. They may have made some terrible decisions in their lives. They may have had some very difficult lives, like some difficult trauma, hard upbringing. But often humor is great, quite dark, but it's funny. And then the mates that I have at work and the type of humor that we have. Sometimes you go through very dangerous incidents, which I suppose that's the more challenging. That's the hardest part of the job, the physical threat and the risk. And sometimes people can get injured, and that's never nice. But again, actually, the humor and how you support each other after it. I'm a big believer in not, you know, just getting down and upset and everything's terrible. You know, your perspective and your attitude will always bring you back as long as you stay positive.
Absolutely. And you work like kind of shifts, like night shifts, or during the day? How does work your schedule?
Yeah, so I do early shifts, which are 7:30 a.m. till 3, or late 2:45 till 10 p.m. So I do like half and half, really.
I see. Okay. Right. Let's start with you now. Define yourself in a season of the year. Tell me which season of the year you feel more connected with. What's your favorite season, of the year for you?
I feel like hard one. I feel like autumn would be a good month for me because it's kind of like mixed weather, and sometimes it's just like mixed between the weather and it feels really nice. And I just feel like it's nice because sometimes I'm between like happy or sad and happy.
Totally. And is your birthday around the same time as well or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. September. Yeah.
September. It's interesting you saying that because it's my favorite season of the year as well. And I'll tell you something. Somebody once told me that you feel very connected with the season when you were born. And for me, it's, back in Brazil where I come from, there are no season there. It's always very warm, very hot. So when I arrived in Europe, when I was 19 years old, then I started to see the seasons very specific time. And I was fascinated. I remember the first autumn hitting in Europe, and I was like, "Oh my God, this very crispy, morning sun when you wake up. It's not too cold, it's not too warm. It's kind of mixed." That's when I realized. Then I started enjoying this time of the year as well. Some people they find a bit depressing, a bit down, like too gray. But for me, I love it. There's something about it that I think is beautiful. The colors, the change of the color, the trees all fall, the leaves. I think it's beautiful. How about you, Tris? What's your favorite season of the year?
I would say summer. Although, because we're very blonde, we get sunburned quite easily, don't we? So
right.
We like the warm, but we don't like being out in it too much.
Nice.
I think it's just nice to be able to wake up. I like the mornings and the nights because it's warm. So I usually get up very early to go to the gym, and that it's warm, but it's just nice and still on a morning at around sort of 5, 6 a.m.
I see.
And then on a nighttime again, maybe if you're in the garden and it's it's quite warm, but you can just relax. And yeah, there's no snow or anything like that, so that helps.
Okay, Trita, let's go with you now. If you could go back in time, in one moment or memory in your life, for any reason, what that would be and why?
I think when you were a baby, I think the feelings of being a father when you do like skin to skin. So I've talked to you about this before, haven't I? So it's like a bonding thing. I remember one picture where Bodhi was laid on my chest, where we're in Murfield. You won't remember because you're about 3 months old. And I was laid in the lounge, and he just fell asleep on my chest.
Right.
I remember just feeling just totally happy, just and calm, because I could feel how happy and comforted he felt. So as a father, that was probably just the nicest.
And so far, saying that, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from Bodhi?
I've learned from Bodhi quite a lot, really, in that he's different to how I was as a child. That he's very comfortable with people. He's very polite and personable. You sound making it uncomfortable. Bodhi, yeah, you're just very good with people, very polite, and I'm very whenever he meets different people, like friends, they always just say what a lovely young man he is. And I think it's just that kindness and generosity that I suppose that reminds me in myself how to how to treat people, because sometimes a child just sees the world in the way it should be seen.
Totally. How about you, Bodhi? What's something? Tell me a meaningful lesson that you learned from your dad. Something that when you think about him, through some memories, what's the best memory that comes to your mind when you think about your dad?
I think he's also very kind, but he also pushes me because he knows I can really do well. So he puts limits, and I don't feel well when I'm doing it, but after, he makes me feel really nice and he treats me really nice.
Wow. In your opinion, what's the biggest difference between you and your dad, and the biggest similarity?
It's hard to find a difference. I think. No.
You're a bit calmer than me, I'd say.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
A bit jumpy.
He got too much energy after the gym, yeah? Too much energy after the gym. And something that you think is very similar between both of you, something that when you think about your dad, you think, oh, I've got that from him.
Like the whole outer body, I think I got from him, like the head, like the body, everything.
I see. Very good. Right, I have 2 questions left, okay? Let's do it. Next one. Right, let you know. Okay, this is my favorite question of the magic box, okay? It came up to you. All right. Send away a message to someone, but you don't need to tell who this message is for, yeah? So you can say anything, but think about that you are saying just to one person, yeah? But you don't need to tell who this person is for. Just the person who is watching gonna go like, I know this message is for me.
I just want to say to someone, sometimes things are hard, but you can get through them, and I can try and help you, but you gotta just help yourself with me, and I can make you happy, but in the end you just gotta forgive yourself if you did anything, or if you regret not doing something.
My God, are you sure you are only 10-year-old? My God,
It's very
that's beautiful. Oh my God, got goosebumps now saying that. I think it's such a beautiful message. I'm sure the person who is watching now, it's comforted by your message. I'm sure they're feeling very special right now. Trust me, I've got goosebumps everywhere. My goodness, beautiful, love it, beautiful. Okay, Tristan, for you now, tough question. What has been the lowest point of your life so far?
I think Bodhi, mom, and I were married, and we were divorced when Bodhi was about 18 months old. And I think what's happened since then has proved that that was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And although I felt that at the time, as a parent, the fear is that you could in some way, not do the best job by your son. So that was always the biggest worry. And I suppose in that moment when we decided that was the right decision, you can't see how the future is going to be. So to me, that was very scary. But as time's gone on, I mean, you can see he's just such a wonderful boy.
Totally.
And he's so loved by everyone in both. Wow. So wow. I feel like things worked out for the best.
Goosebump again. You know what? I'm having this emotional moment as well with me, Tristan, because I understand your point. My parents as well, they divorced when I was younger. And, at the time, it's hard for everyone. I think, it's not something that we are aiming for. It's something that happened. But after that, after a while, I realized that my parents, they're happier. you know. And sometimes I think there are no rules. I think, you know, society put rules, which is amazing. I think when you get together with someone, the thought is about forever. However, sometimes it doesn't work like that, you know, and it's okay as well. I think we come to this world to be happy. I think everyone deserves to be happy, and sometimes we need to go through difficult times to be happier. You know what I mean? So I understand your point, and I think, you know, it's not, some decisions in life are not easy to make, and but in the end, everyone gets happy, everyone understands, and I'm sure the marriage finished, but the connection is going to be forever there because you had someone, you know, beautiful on it. So I think that's understand. It's just a different chapter, let's say, and I think everyone is happier afterwards. So yeah, thanks for sharing. I think it's interesting to talk about that because it's just to break barriers, and you never know who's watching this interview right now and sees, you know, a dad and a son together sharing, you know, happiness and wise. I think it's beautiful to see. So thanks for sharing. Amazing. Last question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. You like this crazy guy dance without music in front of me, yeah? Right. So before the last question, let's go with you now. Before the last question, tell me a moment, when you play rugby, a moment that you're never gonna forget, something that happens that you go like, I'm always gonna remember this moment. Can you share something?
There's kind of two that I really loved. There's one where I had 3 matches in one day, and I was doing really well in tackling. In the end, like, Dad was there and they were all shouting at me to get the ball, and I was in the middle and they passed me the ball and I just sprinted through and scored my best try yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other time was about a year ago. We had 4 matches in one day, and I got a try in 3 of them, and then I got 2 tries in one. And in the last try I ran around the side, and there's this guy called there, and he jumped in to be like, you know, act like he's the best, and I did the same thing as a joke.
Oh, he jumped over the line.
Yeah.
I see. Amazing. Okay, Tristan, for you now, tell me, you know, through your career, the job that you work right now, as you mentioned before, you know, there are up and downs, you learn a lot, you know, it's a challenge every day in a good, in a bad way as well. I think working in this environment is part of learning, being compassionate, a lot of things, emotion happen as well. If you can share a moment or a situation that for you, you know, it touched your heart somehow, it touched something that you're always going to remember, if you can share.
I think there was okay, here's one. So I worked with a young man who was in there for a very serious crime, and he was there for a couple of years, and then when they get to a certain age, he actually opted to go to the adult prison, a bit early because he had quite a long sentence, but we'd had it was an up and down relationship. I was quite tough on him sometimes, but we had a lot of humour. We got on very well a lot of the time as well. And I don't really make a big thing about them leaving because I think it's almost a bit selfish. If they have to go somewhere else, I want them to be able to move without clinging on to, you know, myself or other people.
Right.
But I remember I'd said goodbye to him briefly, and he was walking to leave out the exit that they have, and then I got a call from the staff with him, and they said, "Oh, could you bring some paperwork I've left in the office?" So I remember walking onto the yard where he was with this member of staff. He was one end, and I was at the other, and I was walking over. He literally ran towards me, and then jumped up on me.
Oh my God.
He jumped with his arms around me and his legs around me.
Oh my God.
And I carried him all the way to the exit.
Oh.
And then I put him down and I said, you know, just keep your head down, do the right thing, and you're going to be okay. And I just put my hand on the back of his head like that. And I think I think he could have got emotional, so he just kept his head down. He smiled and nodded, and that was enough. And that was the last time I've ever seen him.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Right. Let's go Phil now. Last question. What do you like the most about your best friends?
I think lots of them have been through some hard times and some really good times. So they're just really kind in times like when I'm hurt or where they are. And they always make people feel happy. And they include people, like when they're doing something nice, they include people with what they're doing.
Wow, amazing. Last question for you now, Tristan. What motivates you the most in life?
Well, this one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I think just being, being a good dad and living a good life, but also when you're an adult and being able to, have you in my life in that way and experience everything like that. As you know, as a parent, year by year, they can do more and experience more. And, I feel a lot of pride when he talks the way that he does now.
Wow.
So, it's exciting for me just thinking about his life, really.
Amazing, beautiful. Okay, so the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay. Who'd like to go first?
You want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it. Right. So, one word for friendship.
Happiness.
Tristan, one word for money.
Comfort.
How about you? One word for money.
Backup.
I like that. Wow. Okay, for you again. One word for life.
Commitment.
Oh my God, you're amazing. Tristan, one word for life.
Fun.
Wow. Okay, Tristan, with you again. One word for happiness.
Family.
B, one word for happiness.
People.
Okay. With you again, one word for family.
Joy.
How about you, Tristan? One word for family.
Sharing.
Okay. The last one now. One word for you, Tristan. Again, one word for love.
Vital.
For you, one word for love.
Importance.
Wow, wow. Actually, one more for you. One word for rugby.
Hard one. Ready, I'd say.
Okay. One word for Liverpool, Tristan.
Champions.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so let's pretend now. I'm going to meet both of your best friends, yeah, for Tristan and also for you, and I'm gonna ask both of them. Define. Let's start with you. If I would ask your best friend right now to define you in one word, what that would be? What do you think your best friend would define you in one word?
Fun.
Okay, how about you, Tristan? One positive and one negative for you.
Constant.
Okay.
And negative. Unpredictable.
Interesting. Right, let's play now. And Tristan in the magic box, and you both can ask me a question, okay? Okay, but before you ask me the question, I'd like to people watch this interview right now. Maybe would you like to start playing rugby? Yeah. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Try your hardest, and even if you're scared, just think positive, and you'll be fine.
Wow, wow. Tristan, for you now, you know, as you know, you're very into the gym. You also, do some bodybuilding as well. For those people who, they would like to start more often or more frequent the gym, but some things hold them back. What would be your advice for those people?
I always think there's one life, and your physical health impacts everything in a positive way. So your strength and endurance, and it just affects work, your family, your social life.
Mm-hmm.
It literally will benefit all components. So the mentality of it is probably the most important thing you can do. So when you do it, it's not a chore, it's a privilege.
I see. Okay, Bodhi, you can ask me a question now.
What was your favorite time in your life?
Wow, what a question! What a question! You know what? I'm gonna be related to your answers through the interview. When I was back in Brazil, when I was 12 years old, I started playing volleyball. Yeah, and I loved it. It became a big passion of myself. Of course, I think sports, as you know very well, is very good when you are very young. You're introduced to sports because it builds your relationship with yourself, with your friends. I'm so grateful nowadays because nowadays, through my adult life, I think volleyball, you cannot play on your own as rugby. You need to play around with people. And that's been a big thing for me when I look back. Nowadays, through my life at work, or if I'm around with friends or doing things, I always think as a group. And I'm so grateful for the volleyball because, I was playing every single day. I was training a lot. I was traveling sometimes from my school, from my city as well. And it was a passion of mine. And I'm so grateful that I had this passion at the time because nowadays I'm a very active person as well. I love going to the gym, I love running, I love nature, and that's it's because I had this thing about volleyball that I was playing for years and years back in Brazil. So yes, I think that's something for me that always brings the best of me. I think that exercise overall, it's something that brings the best. For example, the magic box. This idea came along when, remember the COVID, where the world went upside down, you could leave the house once a day for exercise. And I was going for a run every single day. And one of those runs, this idea came along. So I think when sports part of your life, you think straight, you think better, new idea comes, and I think you feel greatest. So yeah, that's my answer for you for sure. Good question. Okay, Tristan, your turn now.
Okay, so I was thinking, what's one thing that you would tell yourself as a child if you could go back?
Wow, great question. Right, you know what? I would tell myself if I could sit down with my, I don't know, let's say 10-year-old self, related to Bodhi. I think that I would tell myself, you know what? You're gonna go through a lot of happy times. You're gonna have like a lot of moments in your life that you're gonna feel the greatest. You're gonna go like, oh my God, I don't want this to end because I'm gonna feel amazing. However, the other side as well, there are some times that I'm going to feel sad for some reason that I cannot control. It's not, sometimes it happens things to us. We feel sad, not just because of us, but because things around us. However, my advice for myself would be both of them will pass. Yeah. It's not going to be forever. I know when we are sad for some reason, it feels like it's going to be forever like that. But it will pass. One point, it will pass, and you're going to go back to normal again. And being happy, the same thing as well. Happiness is amazing. Happiness, you just want to be there, and it's great. But we'll pass as well sometimes. And that's what makes life interesting. And you need to enjoy both of them. Because, when you are happy, there is a message behind. And when you are feeling sad, there's a message behind as well. So enjoy both because there is always a message behind. That would be my advice for me as my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm so glad, Bodhi, that you decide to join your dad because, I mean it. It's so great to see someone so wise, so young, and have this beautiful mindset, you have this positivity. I think it's amazing to see someone's, I just wish all the best. I just wish that you go forward with the rugby, and all the opportunities come through your life, please just take it, because that's what life's about. It's about you take opportunities, learn, listen to your dads, to your parents, to your mom, and people around you, people who loves you, because you are talking to you. My God, I could never tell your 10-year-old. I actually I've learned today with you, just talking to you. You literally made me learn some lessons here. I'm so grateful, and thanks for making history here in the Magic Box. Okay, to be together with your dads. For you too as well, Teresa. Thanks so much for taking the time. I know we are so busy nowadays with our lives, and taking the time for someone, it's a gift. So I would like to say thank you for both to be so kind and be part of this dream, which is my show within the Magic Box. But before you go, if you can both say a positive message or a positive phrase, anything something that you live by. Would you like to go first?
I always think of quite a few for motivations for the gym, and I often say to people that the good or the bad in life, it's all fuel. So it's all a motivation. So if somebody doesn't think that you're very good at something, then you can use that as motivation to be better. Or if you're enjoying something, use that motivation to be confident and be better from that.
Amazing. Would you like to say anything, Bodhi?
Yeah. I'd just like to say, in your life, just try your hardest. Be positive.
Mm-hmm.
Try any hobby you think you might like.
Wow.
Make friends. Have a happy life. You don't have to pursue like a really, really amazing thing. You just need to be yourself and be kind.
Amazing, beautiful. I love the message. All right. Thanks again. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks again for taking this time with me and for bringing this positive energy here to the show, and this wise message as well. I will always remember this interview for sure. Okay. Thanks again.
Thank you, and good luck with everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend, okay? Take care. Bye, Bodhi. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.